Hello, unlimited friends. It's Zara back again with Q&A about the law of attraction and its application to our lives. The question today is about the difference between inner being, conscious mind, and subconscious mind. This question was submitted by Roshni, and it is an extremely important question because when you understand this, you're going to be able to understand your internal guidance system. And what I'm going to do today is what I do sometimes is to draw a diagram to explain how all of this works together. Before I get into the drawing, let me just do a quick introduction for those of you who are new here. Welcome. My name is Zara Mahoon. I write the blog zmahoon.com. And I offer group coaching, one-on-one coaching, as well as a number of online programs. I've also written 18 books on the subject of law of attraction. I write a new book every time I learn something new about law of attraction, and you can check out all my books on Amazon. All right, let's get into this yummy, yummy, yummy question. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that I can draw a diagram to share my perspective of how things work. So let's go to drawing. Here's what happens. When a child is born, a newborn baby is born, two things happen. Consciousness, or the soul, descends into or occupies the human body. And when that happens, it bifurcates into two on entering the human body. Two branches. One branch is your inner being, IB, and the other branch is your I, your intellect. This is what we call our mind. So the mind or intellect is also non-physical. The brain is not the mind. Both are strands of source energy descending into the human body. The inner being connection remains pure, while what happens with the intellect part of us is that intellect is divided into two. So this intellect then becomes bifurcated into two. One is your conscious mind, and the other one is your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is the part of your mind that is observing contrast. So what are the functions of the conscious mind? The conscious mind observes contrast. If I can write. It observes contrast. It collects information through our five senses in order to understand contrast or give birth to a preference. So this is what the conscious mind is doing. The subconscious mind is a reservoir of our beliefs. So the subconscious mind is where all our beliefs are stored. And what is a belief? A belief is a thought that the conscious mind has accepted as being true. Once the conscious mind accepts something as being 100% true, this is my picture of the world, I believe in this thing, then that thing becomes stored in your subconscious. So what I always teach is that the conscious mind is the doorman to the subconscious mind. Your conscious mind has to accept a premise before it becomes a belief. If the conscious mind says, yes, this is true, now a belief is born and that belief is stored on your subconscious mind. every single time your conscious mind comes across the same situation again, then your conscious mind is going to request for the beliefs that are stored about that thing in your subconscious. So every time something happens, the conscious mind says, oh, what was that belief about that thing? What is my belief about that person? And it recalls that information from the subconscious mind. Okay? So that's the relationship between conscious and subconscious mind. Now, let's take it a step further. How does your guidance system work in all of this? Let me pick another color here. So your inner being is always carrying in it the beliefs of source. So source is up here. Your inner being is always connected to source. And all the beliefs of source are the beliefs of the inner being. So what is the overarching belief of source? The overarching belief of source is that there is no right and wrong. There is unconditional love. Everyone is an extension of source. And everyone should be loved unconditionally. All things are possible. That is the belief system of source. So your inner being is your thread connection to source's belief systems, pure love belief systems. So your inner being is always coming from a place of love. Your inner being, when you call someone bad, when you call someone unlovable, your inner being does not agree because your inner being has the beliefs of source. Source is ever loving, never judging. Always, source never has to forgive because source never judges anyone. We do, the intellectual mind does. So now what you have going on is the point of view, the filter through which your inner being sees the world. So I'm going to draw this circle here representing a filter. Like if you were wearing glasses, this would be one lens of the glasses. And this lens consists of the belief systems of source. Your conscious mind sees everything through the beliefs that have been collected in the journey of evaluating contrast on planet Earth, in the physical body as an extension of source. So the point of view of your conscious mind and your subconscious mind is the other lens of those glasses that you wear. Now, here's the important thing about this. I should have made a bigger lens for source. Let me see if I can widen it. All right. What I want you to focus on is that there's a distance between the two. That distance, this distance, meaning the distance between the beliefs of source, the level of disagreement. This distance is the disagreement between the opinion of source about something and the opinion of your conscious mind about the same thing. This distance is the emotional scale. This distance is your emotional scale. The further away you are, so I'm just going to write ES over here. The further away you are means that the beliefs, your beliefs are so different from the beliefs of source, then you are lower down on the emotional scale. And when you close this distance, When you close this distance, you start becoming aligned. This distance has to close in order for alignment to take place. So when your conscious mind can adopt and the beliefs of your inner being and see the world exactly the way your inner being sees the world, then you are in alignment. So thank you so much to to Roshni for asking this beautiful question. I know this diagram is messy, but I hope it conveys the point. And so here, what I want you to understand, this thing over here, the emotional scale, when we expand it, the emotional scale consists of all the emotions that we feel in life. And over here, right up here, is the perspective of source. So I'm just going to use yellow again for the perspective of source, just to make sure we have consistency. This is the point of view of source. And purple. So this, all the other emotions are part of the point of view of the mind, and that includes the conscious and subconscious mind. And when you feel negative emotion, this is negative emotion, this is the worry line. When you feel negative emotion, you are very far away from the way source is looking at things. So when you start closing this gap and you go up the emotional scale, let's pick orange for it. So when I do the self-talk to convince myself to start seeing things the way source sees them, I slowly make my way up the emotional scale. And when I close the gap and I start seeing things through the lens of source, I am in a place of anywhere in the vortex, which is this realm over here, hope and upwards. When I see everything through the eyes of source, now I am in alignment. And because I am in alignment, everything that I want is going to flow into my life. When we are in a negative place on the emotional scale, we have the lower you are on the emotional scale, the number of beliefs that you have that form obstructions to your being able to get what you want. There are more obstructions at a place lower on the emotional scale. So over here, you have lots of obstructions to, you've got to eliminate these beliefs so that you can go up the emotional scale. And when you get to this point, you don't have any negative beliefs at all. That's what it means to be aligned. And when you are aligned, you feel in love with life, in love with the world. Everyone is a good person. You are happy. You are energized. Life feels good. You are in harmony with nature. You are in harmony with other people. And so Abraham teaches us that that is what we all are reaching for. We are all reaching for alignment, freedom, growth, and joy. The growth is inevitable because the growth is a result of contrast. Freedom and joy are a choice. And they are a choice because we have the ability to close the gap and get into alignment. So Roshni and everybody else, I hope that you found this useful, helpful in understanding how law of attraction works. And I want to leave you with the thought that when we practice gratitude and appreciation, we are thinking thoughts that line us up with source, because source is always appreciative of us, of everything else. That person that you hate, source appreciates that person. That thing that you think is unfair, source never sees it as unfair. And so I'm going to leave you with that. And if you want more information, I'm going to suggest signing up for the Law of Attraction Toolkit, which is an online course that I've developed that explains law of attraction, manifesting, and all the tools that are part of practicing law of attraction. So that includes meditation, focus wheels, the 4-step process, scripting and journaling, vision boards, visualization, all the tools that we use as part of law of attraction. They are simplified and they are housed under one umbrella called the Law of Attraction Toolkit. All right, and if you want the link for that, look for it in the description below. Bye for now.